Some of your destinations have errors, but we are live. And Jonathan, I started a little early because I wanted to see um, how we're doing here, and he's going to scoot in here in just a minute because we're trying to get fancy here, Jonathan.
Are we fancy?
Yeah, we're getting fancy right now. All right, so let's see. So here I'm going to try to get your Instagram on here because we did not know that you have to have a professional Instagram to be able to go live.
I'm not professional.
I guess you're not professional right now. You trying to lift the chair?
Yeah.
Oh,
Get my chair down too low.
I'm so sorry.
Huh?
I'm so sorry.
Is that glare behind us all right, everybody?
I think it's okay. Hi.
Hey, are we on?
Yeah, we're
What's
on.
cracking like, everybody? We got a lot of fun stuff. I want to take you on a little journey tonight. Please comment. I think the comments are up and open if you can.
They are.
Mama's got this pulled up. But I want to tell you, here in about 22 to 23 minutes, I'm going to announce a giveaway and a sale on sausage. So please listen for the special code at 822.
Okay.
822 and a half. All right. But I want to take you on this little journey because I've been pondering and contemplating all the stuff that's been happening and all the stories that come out. And you look at the news and you watch TV and you go on social media and you see the two groups of people. You have the group of people that love America. We the people get the merch, right? And they understand that fixing our government, fixing our country is like a bad arm, an infection, something with gangrene on it, maybe something with a bandage on it, and you got to rip that off or cut that off, and it's going to hurt and it's going to bleed, and hopefully you get it sutured up and cleaned up and saved up before you lose it.
Right.
And that's kind of where we're at. That's the unfortunate of it, of where we're at. We're at a point in our country where very hard changes have to be made, very dramatic changes. Some people can't handle them. Hey, Annabelle, thanks for joining on. Some people can't handle it and they're freaking out. They're like, oh, it's going to destroy, it's going to bring on the end times, it's going to do this, it's going to break the economy, it's going to wreck the market. It may. I'll say that. Things may get sideways for a little while. But just like an arm with gangrene, if you don't treat it, if you don't take care of it, if you don't cut it off, if you don't cut out the infection, it's eventually going to kill you anyway. So why not try something new? Why not try something different?
There you go.
And then I see all the screaming and the hollering and all this stuff from mainly liberal Democratic left, some crazy rhino Republicans that only argue about everything. Like, for instance, eggs just came down about $1.85.
Oh, wow.
Now, they were up so high that even coming down $1.85, still $5.90, $5.70, $5.80 for a dozen eggs is very high. But instead of focusing on, hey, there's something happening, something changing, inflation is come down for the first time in 3 years, 4 years. Instead of focusing on that, they want to remind us that it's still at an all-time high, still at an all-time high. They take no responsibility for the past, for the 4 years of what Joe Biden and his administration and his policies did to our country and to our people. Are you in the good?
Yeah.
And they just want to point blame at Donald Trump. So I started thinking, do we really have a two-party system? Like Democrat, Republican. And they tell us, yeah, a two-party system. Do we? Like, pause for a second on that and now go to your TV and you flip through your channels.
Right.
And you think about the choices you have. CNN, Fox, MSNBC, CBS, NBC, ABC, ESPN, Disney, Cinemax, Skinemax, whatever they used to call it, HBO, all the different channels. But are they really choices? And I wrote this down because I thought this was a thought to ponder.
Right.
Do we really have choices?
Axel.
Hey, Axel, do we really have choices? Or are we just given things to choose from? I think there's a big difference between being free and only having the freedom to choose. I'll say that again. Do we really have the freedom to choose, or are we just given things to choose from? They give us what they want us to fight over. They give us what they want us to choose. They are in control of everything. Leads me to the plot of the show. I've heard this for a long time. There's a bloodline that owns the whole world, 13 families that own the whole world. And no matter what we think we're doing, they are manipulating everything for their ultimate wealth, elite power, status, whatever their end game is. I don't know because I'm not privy to that information.
Right.
And I started digging. and things that make me go hum, things that go through my mind, stories like, for instance, Chick-fil-A. Now, let's jump on Chick-fil-A real quick.
Right.
You might as well open up on Sunday. If you're going to sell the devil's food, you might as well work on Sunday. There's no reason. There's no reason to be closed on Sunday. Like you're taking the moral high ground as a Christian company, and you're going to close on Sunday to honor your God and honor, the faith and Jesus. We had the Sabbath in the Old Testament, but Jesus came, so now we recognize, Sunday, the first day of the week instead of the last day of the week, and yeah. And I believe in God, so I'm not knocking Christianity. But did you know? Where did I get this at? In Chick-fil-A. I got to read it because you won't believe it. I don't want to misquote it. But in Chick-fil-A, in the sandwich, in the sauce, in the fries, the same chemical compound that makes engine degreaser is in the chicken sandwich. The same chemical compound that makes silicone foam, which is an anti-foaming agent. So silicone is a chemical that keeps things from foaming, right? It's like an antifreeze. It keeps things from freezing. Antifreeze, silicone-based anti-foam, engine degreaser is all in your number one. When you order your chicken sandwich with fries and a drink, you might as well be going out to your car, change the engine oil, change the antifreeze, and just drink it.
Yeah.
Same chemical compound. Now, these compounds, according to the FDA, in small amounts, they're not harmful to human bodies. They're safe for human consumption. So if you ate Chick-fil-A once a week, once a month, maybe it'd be okay.
Yeah, I think so.
But have you ever been by a Chick-fil-A? Have you ever seen a youth group? Well, because it's the youth group thing to do. We can't eat at Devil Taco Bell. We can't eat with the devil guys eat at a Taco Bell. We got to eat at Chick-fil-A where the Christians eat.
Yeah, it's marketing.
It's manipulation through marketing. And they're manipulating the church crowds and the youth groups and to young Christians. It's disgusting.
It's terrible.
That drive-through line is insane. And they kill you with kindness. Literally, they are killing you with kindness.
Yeah.
They're smiling, telling you they love you. God bless you. We don't open on Sunday to honor our faith, but here's some poison in the bag. Would you like some extra poison sauce with that? Have you ever thought about, and I know, people are like, well, Jonathan, we ain't got time to do research like you do. So I'll do the research for you. Well, yeah, you keep me with comments?
But we're doing the best we can.
Well, say hello to Axel.
I said,
Axel said, I had Chick-fil-A last week. I don't think it's that good. What they say? Hey, yes, you made it, Axel. Thank you for making it. Yes, Chick-fil-A is overrated. If you take away the smile and the grace and the prettiness and the happy and the Jesus loves you, Chick-fil-A is garbage.
Yeah.
If you're going to eat poison, eat Popeyes.
Yeah.
Have Popeyes poison. All right. Let's go to more choices. Have you seen the lawsuit? And I'm going somewhere with this. And okay, because I know a lot of people are like, get to the point. Mm-hmm. So we're going to talk about BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, Bank of America, and a Singapore company called Tasmac. All right, we're going to get all that. But I'm feeding you a little bit right now because they're all tied together. All right. Simply Orange, Simply Tropical, Simply Grapefruit is in a lawsuit right now. You want to know why?
Why?
Do you know what a PFAS chemical is?
No.
That's PFAS chemicals are forever chemicals. They're synthetic made chemicals made by man. And once they're made, they cannot be broken down. The earth that can't break them down, they don't deteriorate. They stay in the water. They stay in your body. They stay in the toilet when you flush it. They stay in the waterways. They call them forever chemicals because they are around forever.
Right.
Now, on the label of Simply Tropical, Simply Orange, Simply Grapefruit, Simply Apple, it says all natural on every box, every jug, every half gallon, every pint you buy.
Right.
Well, they're not so natural after all. They're in a lawsuit right now because some independent company started taking them off the shelf and doing samples and found that they are intoxicated with PFAS chemicals at levels of 100 times higher than federal law allows in your drinking water.
Oh my God.
Now the FDA said, all right, look, guys, PFAS chemicals, forever chemicals. They're around, they're here, there ain't nothing we can do about it. We're going to regulate the water, and we're going to tell Zephyr Hills and Core and Aquafina and Dasani and Publix and Winn-Dixie and Spring Valley and that Icelandic one and all the water people, hey, make sure that you don't have more than this amount of forever chemical in your water, because we know there ain't nothing you can do about it, but try your best. And here's the level you're allowed to have in a bottle of water. All natural, simply orange, simply grapefruit, simply tropical, simply pineapple, simply apple, simply grape, 100 times higher than the level allowed in water.
Why are they allowed to do that?
They're not. They're being sued right now. But here's what I'm going at it. If you look at the lawsuit, Coca-Cola is the primary company being sued. So you're like, what does Coca-Cola have to do with it? And then you do a little digging and you find out, oh, Coca-Cola owns Simply Orange. So the company that makes Coca-Cola, which we all know, listen, if you like a Coke, you like a Coke. I'm a Pepsi man. Even though I know it's Pepsi poison. I'm a Pepsi man. I'm a cherry.
We do it every once in a while.
Yeah, I like an ice cold cherry Pepsi in a glass cup loaded with ice sometimes. But I know what I'm drinking when I pop that can.
Right.
So the choices. Do we have choices? You go to the grocery store and you're like, well, I'm not going to buy a Coca-Cola today. I'm not going to buy a Dr. Pibb or a Mountain Dew or a Sprite. I'm going to buy orange juice for my kids because I know it's better and it's healthier. And it's a different alternative to the soda pop drinks. But your orange juice is owned by the same guy that makes soda. So let's talk about Gatorade.
Oh boy.
Gatorade was created by a guy named Van Camp out of the University of Florida to hydrate Division I athletes in the South to make them stronger, faster, perform better under intense levels of heat and exhaustion and dehydration. Gatorade was bought by Quaker Oats. Quaker Oats was bought by Pepsi. Quaker Oats, Pepsi, Gatorade now are being sued for the amount of red dye 40 that is in Gatorade and the amount of sugar that is in Gatorade. There is much sugar in Gatorade as there is in a Pepsi.
That's insane.
And you say to myself, hey, little Johnny's got football or basketball or soccer. I'm going to stop by the store and pick up a case of Gatorades for the boys because they need their Gatorade to stay hydrated and stay replenished. And I don't want to take them a case of Pepsis. If you're a soccer mom and you pull up at the soccer field, hey, boys, whistle break time. I got a case of ice cold Pepsi for you. The coach can run me off the field.
Yeah.
Get that Pepsi out of here. We're trying to get these boys to play a game. You show up with Gatorade and you're the best mom on the planet. Oh, you brought us Gatorade. You might as well.
Okay,
Oh, that's too much. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta get rid of that.
Yeah. Sorry, guys, for learning something.
Mama's trying something crazy on the side. She's doing some side business. You gotta get that off now.
I got you. All right, sorry about that.
That's still too much.
Yep.
So you think you're choosing Pepsi over Gatorade when really you're not. It's all the same thing. We have no choices. We're just given choices to choose. All right. I want to tell you, and I'm going to talk around the circle a little bit because I started realizing you have CBS, and I'm reading from a list right here. You have CBS, you have Comcast, you have NBC, MSNBC, CNBC, Sky Media Group, CNN, Disney. You're like, wow, I'm going to choose what I want to watch. I don't like CNN. I like Fox. I don't like Fox. I like NBC. I don't know. I'm going to check out Sky Media and some of the stuff they got going on. And then you find out that the same company owns all of them. They own 18% of this one, 16% of that one, 13% of that one, 12% of that one, 22% of the other one, on and on and on.
Sorry about that.
So as you flip through your channel, as you go to your grocery store, as you line up at your fast food points. So now we've done 3. We've done the grocery store with drinks. We've done TV. We've done fast food. You don't have choices. You're given things to choose from. And as you think about it, like, how can this all form? And you go back to politics. And you're like, well, I'm a Democrat. I'm a Republican. Man, I'm an independent. Both of y'all are dumb. So you start backtracking and looking at the propaganda that both sides put out. And for the most part, it's all against we the people. Only some of it. Now with Trump and Elon, they're doing a fantastic job. And I hope that nobody stands in their way and they can keep moving forward. And then we get 8 years advance, and this thing can all maybe be broken apart. But they're up against a task that is so hard because they're not fighting. The right's not fighting the left's not fighting the right. They're all being told what to do. Jesse Campbell's going for lives, telling them to get on board and get out. They're all being told what to say, when to say it, how to propagate it by a puppet master. And I'm starting to think that it's not like a family, like one bloodline. I'm starting to think it's a group of people. And I'm going to show you a little more. I want to tell you about a study.
Just for future reference, we'll be doing it from the iPad, switching around so I can do your comments. Okay.
Oh, beautiful.
We're learning, but it's much better. We're getting better.
Yes.
We're live.
We are.
And it looks great.
Actually, the reason it doesn't get into the news is because they control the news. They control what they say. They control the narrative. And I'm going to show you that. So there's a study.
Real quick, can I say something? Yeah. I asked the same thing, Axel. Oh, hey, Jesse. I asked the same exact thing because everything he was telling me, it was like, why don't I know any of this stuff? But we usually use Google. We usually use Microsoft. We use whatever is the biggest thing. So now we have Duck Daddy Go Duck Daddy, whatever. We watch News Nation. So there are other platforms.
Independent journalists.
Yeah, you have to study to find the truth.
You have to dig. They give you what they want you to read.
Right.
They give you the information they want you to have. And they hope that satisfies your craving or your thought process or your questioning of whatever you're trying to dig into. And you're like, man, I Googled it and the top 3 things came up and said this, so it must be valid.
Right.
Right? And even sometimes on DuckDuckGo, is it DuckDuckGo or Duck Daddy Go or something?
Something like that.
Whatever that duck is, I got a duck thing on my telephone. Whatever that button is, sometimes even they had the same story from the Googler. And you have to dig down 3 or 4, but at least there's an alternative story. But sometimes, like I was telling Amy, you got to go, if you want farm news, you need to go to independent farm journalism.
Right.
Find magazines that talk about agriculture. If you want to learn about logistics, find magazines and articles that talk about logistics. They're not tied to a corporate network. Something that is, and I said a lot of people from our church work there. It's almost the whole staff. Well, our church needs to change the culture.
Yes.
I'm going to talk to Annabelle for a minute. Everybody, Pastor Tom and Pastor Shadley are always talking about changing the culture. If our church is going to be represented by Chick-fil-A, they need to change the culture and demand that at least the Chick-fil-A in Lake Mary change the ingredients. Oh, Mama got another sign up. Change the ingredients and sell good stuff to people, or just be honest about it and say, hey, this is just as bad for you as KFC, Taco Bell, Wendy's, McDonald's. It's the same poison. We just smile and say Jesus loves you.
Yeah.
Sorry, Annabelle. Yeah. I know y'all love Chick-fil-A.
It's so crazy.
So the story came out 6 years too late. All right. Now stay tuned, guys. In 5 minutes, I'm going to announce a crazy sale. And yes, if you win and you got the code, I'll ship it to you. Because I know Axel can't get to the store. Or if you come into the store tomorrow.
I would give Axel the world if I could.
Yes. If you come into the store tomorrow, you're going to have to give me the code. I'm going to give you the code at 8:22.
Write it down, the code.
All right. I'm still thinking of the code. I ain't got the code figured out yet.
Hey, guys, we're looking good. It's not going beep, 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 beep.
I got
That's what I feel like we sound like.
Baby, you're doing a great job. The best change I ever made. All right.
All right.
There was a study done 6 years too late. So within a week or two, the spring break holiday fluctuates at high schools across the country. If everybody recalls, 6 years ago, this was the longest spring break on planet Earth.
Okay.
This was the weekend that people were like, what? COVID, what? There's a COVID? Like, what's that?
Right.
What's coronavirus? What's SARS too? Like, what? Hasn't that been around since the beginning of time? And every media outlet was like, no. This is going to kill the world.
Right.
We need you to calm down. I can kind of, you're ridiculous. I'm trying to have a show here.
I know. I'm just very excited.
3 minutes away from the code, guys.
3 minutes. We're going to put it in the comments.
All right.
If I can.
All right. 6 years ago today, while we were all being told, stay at home, flatten the curve, mask up, get vaccinated because you love your neighbor and you love your old people. You can't see your grandma and grandpa. They got to die in a nursing home somewhere. 6 years ago this week, give or take, because I know February, March, it was kind of close how, they say the first cases were in December at the end of the year, and you probably had it. You didn't even know you had it. You just thought it was the flu. No, buddy. It was COVID. All right. 6 years ago today, they started a study in Japan, also did it in India and in America. They had groups of 4,000 of frontline healthcare workers. And they were testing them with ivermectin preventive treatment for SCARS 2 and COVID-19. COVID-19 means COVID 2019. It's the 19th year of COVID, that strand. They made everybody on the internet who talked about a vaccine, who talked about an ivermectin treatment, they tried to banish them, block them, dismantle them, arrest them, take their medical licenses, humiliate them. They made fun of farmers and ranchers. And I used to say to Amy, man, do you know how many times I was deworming a bull or a cow? And you grab a bull by the neck, the top of the skin, and you go to shoot the ivermectin, and the bull jumps and it goes right into my arm, into my hand, a whole syringe of ivermectin. I've never been sick. I never died. I never got side effects. Like, why is it so bad? We just didn't understand what they were talking about. There was a time I was putting Poron on animals, and my sprayer hose broke, and the ivermectin Poron got all over me. Nothing happened. My skin didn't break out. I didn't grow a third leg.
Maybe that's why you're so healthy. I mean, besides your bones and knees.
It could be. So this study comes out. Guys, multiple groups of 4,000 people, okay? One group got a preventive maintenance where they were giving it to them every week. One group got it once a month. Another group got, and this is 300 kg, right? So 300 gram per gram. So I'm not a scientist, but break down the math on the dosing. And this was, of course, under doctor recommendation, doctor, approved. Some people, they only got it and gave it to them when they got sick. And do you know that there was an 83% success rate in frontline healthcare workers who were on the front lines dealing with people that were in the hospital, supposedly affected with COVID? 83% out of 4,000. And there were multiple groups. So it was more like 40 or 44 or 48,000 people that they tested it on. Wow. India completely eradicated it in a section of India where they could get ivermectin treatment to people. All right. They didn't tell us about it because there's no money in it for them. And they couldn't scare us if we were all healthy and safe. They couldn't propagate fear and enforce their mandates and try to lock us down and try to see how far they could push our constitutional rights. Because remember, we came over here in 1775, 1776, 1777, all the years we fought to separate ourselves from the king was for the freedom to assembly, the freedom of assembly, freedom to worship God the way we wanted to. So you can't go to church. You can't be in a group. You can't be around these people. You can't go out in public. You can't run your business. You can't go to school. You can't see your parents.
Right.
If you don't get vaccinated, you're risking the world.
Me too, Axel.
So they want you to get vaccinated. They want you to put the COVID in your body so your body can build an immune system to it. But they refuse to allow you or tell you, hey, there's an alternative treatment out here that is 83% successful with the people who are dealing with it every day. So imagine you in your personal life who rarely come in contact with it. It may be 100% for you, right? And then they start this propaganda about, well, there's two types. Oh, I got to give a code.
Code. Oh, hold on.
You know what? The code is ivermectin.
Oh.
The code is ivermectin.
What happens if they give this code, Jonathan?
You get 5 pounds of free sausage.
What?
The first 5 people who call me, text me, or walk in my shop and say ivermectin gets 5 pounds of free sausage. I will repeat this code in 20 minutes at 8:44. Okay. Ivermectin is the code. The first 5 people to walk in my shop or text me. No, not in the group chat. You gotta hit us up on the work phone.
Code ivermectin.
All right. You get 5 pounds of free sausage. I'll ship it to you.
Yay!
I'll ship it to you. You got to pay the shipping. You pay the shipping, I'll ship it to you. Or you walk in the store and get it for free, or I'll bring it to you the next time I come to Georgia. Now, control, bloodlines, the whole world, propagation, pandering, fear. Now they got a group of people who ain't scared, who's had ivermectin in their body, on their body, in their mouth, in their arms, accidentally, of course. And they're like, man, I never had any problems. What are they talking about? So now people want to experiment and play with it. They shut down every doctor that even talks about it. Pharmacies won't give out prescriptions for it. So people start going to pet stores. They start locking down pet stores, removing ivermectin from the shelf, and the FDA comes out with this warning that says there's 2 types of ivermectin. One that is prescribed to you by a doctor for certain health care events. The second is prescribed by a veterinarian for only animals. There's 2. Doctors for certain healthcare events, and veterinarians for animals only. And then people ask, well, why is that? Well, because the animal one has agent carriers in it, inactive ingredients that are harmful for the human body and may be fatal and harmful for humans. So a guy like me who knows how to read a label told Amy, well, what do they use ivermectin for animals? That doesn't make sense.
Right.
So I looked it up. I read the back of the bottle. Do you know the 2 things that are in ivermectin, the inactive ingredients, the carrier agents? One of them is glycerol formal, and the other one is propylene glycol. 2 agents. The third ingredient is the main ingredient, ivermectin. Did you know that propylene glycol is approved by the FDA for human consumption in food products? It is used as a food stabilizer, and I'm reading you the definition of this from propylene glycol's page. This product is a food stabilizer, a moisturizer in skincare cosmetics, and in shampoos. It is also, ding, 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 a drug solvent used in the distribution of pharmaceutical drugs through intravenous application. So the pharmaceutical companies are using the inactive ingredient in farm ivermectin to give you your intravenous drugs in hospitals and doctors and treatment facilities, but it's harmful if you buy it from the pet store. Now, this is where it gets fun. Glycoformal is in every popsicle, snow cone, slushy, Slurpee, Mr. Freezy, Italian Ice, Freeze Pop, Gelato, Frosty at Wendy's.
I want one.
Milkshakes. It's in every one of those products. It is used to take thick liquid ingredients and give them the ability to get really cold or really hot without going rancid either way. They don't freeze or they don't spoil from heat. That's what this product does. And the FDA has approved it in human consumption in slushies, Slurpees, icicles, popsicles, ice cream, milkshakes, Frosties.
Insane.
Insane in the membrane. Now, they do have a disclaimer that says, and I'm not, listen, you do what you want. I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving out advice. But I know personally what works for me and what I've used. Call me crazy, call me a moron, call me an idiot. But I had an upper bronchial infection the other day that I couldn't kick, and my wife had one too. And 2 glasses of water shot ivermectin. We were done. It was over. It came out. And my wife woke up the next day and was like, it's like it's gone. I was like, yeah, it's supposed to be. Because when they tell you ivermectin is only for animals for parasitic use or for some stomach things in human bodies, they don't tell you that in Japan, they're studying it to help cure and stop the spread of cancer cells. They don't tell you that it helps your brain, it helps your heart function, it helps your liver, your guts, your spleen, your kidneys. It gets rid of sinusitis. Sinusitis, that's the sinuses. It's a wonder drug. And if you study or if you can find articles and literature from Japan that have not been tainted by American pharmaceutical propaganda, you can read for yourself the uses of it. Now, I will tell you, some people are stupid, and I understand that some people were overdosing because you go get a tube from the hardware store, the feed store, and it's made for a 1,200-pound animal. Well, obviously, if you don't know how to divide your body weight times the amount for the animal and divide that to make it equate for your body, then yes, you take too much and you could get sick. But do you know the toxic amount of ivermectin you have to actually have an overdose? It's insane. You'd have to drink the whole bottle at one time. That's how bad it is. But again, the powerful people who are in control don't want you to know that, because there's no money and power in freedom. They can only manipulate scared people. They can only manipulate sick people. They can only manipulate hungry, starving, poor people. You can't control free people. So how do we the people, get back to a country, a government, a civilization where we are free, not just free to make a choice? Free.
Yeah.
It'd be like if I came home and you're like, hey, you either want tacos or a hamburger. And I'd be like, oh, I really want a spaghetti. And you're like, well, that's not a choice. You want tacos or spaghetti? Tacos or hamburger. And I was like, but you told me I got to pick dinner. And you're like, you do. You can pick tacos or hamburgers. Like, but no, I'll pick spaghetti. And you're like, spaghetti's not an option. You get to pick. Okay, I pick spaghetti. No, spaghetti's not an option. Okay, so what can I pick? You can pick hamburger or taco. Well, I guess taco. And then as I'm eating the tacos, you're like, what? You didn't like dinner? No, I wanted spaghetti, but you told me I couldn't have it. Well, eat the taco and be happy. At least you're fed. Now, I'm happy with whatever mama cooks. I don't complain about nothing. Okay? But that's how our life has been propagated.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it comes down to two words. Oh, I scrolled back too far on my notes, got a sex text.
Oh.
It was from you.
Oh. Well, I hope so.
Have you ever heard of the company BlackRock?
Yes. I just learned about it yesterday.
BlackRock came on the scene back under COVID-19.
This is insane.
No coincidence, right? BlackRock came on the scene back during, and yes, if anybody noticed, I gave myself a self mohawk.
Can you believe he
I did
it all day?
I got to finish the back, but last night my beard was too big, my hair was just too much. I couldn't lay down and get comfortable on the bed, so I took the clippers and then I just kind of went around my ears. Tonight I'm going to try to clean it up a little bit more, but I just did this. Oh, it was free. It was a free cut.
Did great.
This time looks better.
Ooh, looks sexy.
I'm gonna get some. Ooh, get me some mohawk fun.
Oh.
BlackRock came on the scene. Guys, we're 12 minutes away from the code, and we give the code out. Should I change the code?
No.
Should I do a different code at 844?
No, let's just.
You already put the code in the comment though, so now everybody knows the code.
But they have to read the comments. Yeah.
To get the code,
you gotta watch the show.
Maybe at 844, I'll give away a steak.
Maybe.
I'm 5 pounds of sausage.
Ivermectin's 5 pounds of sausage.
That's it. That's right.
Yeah. Do you mind? I need to run and go get this charger because I have an idea.
But we're 32 minutes into the show.
I know.
Well, go. If you don't want to be in the show, go.
I do want to be in the show.
Exit stage right.
I will be right back.
So, isn't that crazy? I broke down,
About the breadcrumbs.
Oh.
Axel said that he saw the breadcrumbs and there's no breadcrumbs in it.
No, there's absolutely no breadcrumbs in breadcrumbs. Ain't that ironic, Axel? Now, let's get back to BlackRock. BlackRock came on the scene in my life around the time of COVID-19 because we had lost one of our farm properties that we were living on, and we had to move into a rental home. And our rental home went from, we'll just say 200,000 to like 425 in the course of like 6-7 months. We're like, what in God's name is going on? And my landlord was like, well, Jonathan, man, you got to check comparables around the neighborhood. Like all these houses are going higher, higher, higher. There's a supply and demand. There's not enough houses. There's too many people moving to Florida. They blamed it on all the people from California and New York and New Jersey coming down to Florida. And I'm like, there's not that many people coming to Florida that we don't have no more houses. And then you see these houses going for crazy amounts. And then you see them sit empty. Nobody's in them. Or a migrant family moves into them. Or an out-of-town family moves into them. Or somebody, you're like, who are you? Like, welcome to Lake Marion. They're like, oh, yeah, I'm renting this house. Oh, I thought you bought it. No, I didn't buy it. It just came on the market as a rental, so I scooped it up because, you can't find houses. So you find out that BlackRock was sending people out disguised as families, going into single-family neighborhoods and buying up single-family homes, which is against the code of ethics of realty, right? Or buying real estate. It's not a federal law, but it's like a code of ethics law that they violated, never got held accountable for it. And you wonder why the government didn't hold them accountable. It doesn't make sense. So you keep digging and you keep moving, you keep living, and you're like, all right. And then you hear BlackRock again. You're like, BlackRock? I heard that name about real estate. They were buying up all the houses like a global conglomerate. I don't know how to say that word. You know, a big group of people. A what? Conglomerate. Buying up a bunch of houses, buying up neighborhoods, and then renting them out, controlling the market, causing the market to be falsely inflated, and keeping normal Americans from being able to buy homes, crushing the American dream. So now we start moving a little further into life, and we're getting up to like 2021, 2022-ish, and you start hearing all these stories about meat packing plants and all the illegal immigrants and all the people in sex trafficking and enslaved. And then you start hearing about JBS and Primal and Cargill and Tyson and National Beef. And you start hearing about all these stories about meat prices, and meat prices are insane.
Simon.
And the three big meat companies are controlling the market and they're killing the farmers, right?
Hey-o.
I'll talk about breadcrumbs. So you start hearing about all these meat stores and meat prices going crazy. And then you start hearing about these meat packing facilities closing down. And then you hear about the government giving grants and subsidies to build new meat packing plants so they can compete against the big three. And then you find out that the big three are getting the subsidies and they're building smaller plants and just not opening them, not employing people, not putting them in. And then you hear about all these missing children, all these unaccompanied minors.
2015, ivermectin wins Nobel Peace Prize for being a wonder drug.
In 2015.
Really?
Ivermectin won the Nobel Peace Prize. And in 2021.
71572. What's up, Simon?
And in 2021, you're an idiot if you talk about it. Now, meat packing plants. You start hearing about all these missing children, unaccompanied minors, 360,000 they can't find. And then all of a sudden you hear a story about child labor and child slave labor. And you start listening and watching, at least I do, and you find out that the three major meat packing companies had to settle out of court for $8 million because they were found in violation of American child labor laws. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old children, illegal immigrants, right? Illegal children of illegal parents forced to work in meat packing places with saws and grinders and deboners and chains and separators and mechanical, all kind of crazy stuff that they do in huge meat packing plants. These kids should be in middle school, elementary school, high school, but instead they're forced to work because they come over under the guidance of these cartels, and in exchange, they have to pay for that trip. And they have to pay so much money. And the only way they can do that is they have to work it off, because there's no 6-year-old that's got $40,000 to pay the cartel for his trip to America. So he's got to go work under a false name so the cartel can collect his paycheck, or the kid and his other brothers and sisters have to work to help mommy and poppy because they all came over illegally and they're paying back the cartels. It's called slave labor. And it's ironic to me that nobody on the liberal left, you know, the party of social justice, the party of civil liberties, Alette, Leon Perryman, Christopher, I'm talking to y'all. All right?
We love you.
Where are all y'all? You know, the DEI, they're supposed to guarantee, you know, good quality jobs for minorities and make sure they get properly paid for those jobs. Where were y'all when $8 million worth of slave labor was going on here in America in 2022 and in 2023 and in 2024? So in this lawsuit, a name came up, BlackRock. And you're like, what? I heard about BlackRock. They were in real estate and they were in banking and investing. What are they doing in meat packing? Then you find out that BlackRock owns the 4 major packing facilities in the United States of America. The other 2 are owned by China. And you're like, well, at least there's competition. We got American BlackRock and we got China.
There you go.
And you're like, all right, cool, whatever, no big deal. And now we're talking about the Panama Canal and how Americans, countless of American men went down to Panama and dug this trench, turned it into a canal so we could logistically trade with South of America. American gave lives, blood, sweat, tears. American men were getting paid 25% higher than standard wages. And they were going down there and they were being told, hey, you may never come back. But if you're willing to take this money, we promise to take care of your family while you're gone. This is this is almost like going off to war. We need this Panama Canal. So we get it all done. We get it all dug. Countless Americans died. Like 39 a day were dying from malaria, all kinds of infectious diseases, snake bites. I mean, you name it. Toxic water. It was insane. Going into the jungle to dig a canal. We get the canal built. We get it all done. We give it to Panama for $1 with one promise. Panama, keep it, maintain it. We get to use it. Cool, no problem. Under the Biden administration, Panama sells off the 4 major ports of Panama to the People's Republic of China. And Trump says, all right, Panama, we didn't die. We didn't have Americans die. We didn't pay blood, sweat, tears, and souls of America for China to own the Panama Canal.
Right.
We're taking it back.
And people died building it.
Yes, 39 a day on average. So you got the left lunatic crazies. Oh, look at Trump, a world dictator. He's trying to take over the world. He's trying to take Panama Canal back for Panama. Well, first of all, it was never Panama's, it was ours. We gave it to Panama. And then Panama sold it to China. So Trump's like, Panama, get your stuff in order. Check yourself, or we're coming down there to take it back, and we'll own the Panama Canal. Yeah. So you hear about this crazy merger deal where China released control of its 4 assets to an American company. Ask me who that American company was.
BlackRock.
BlackRock. You nailed it. So I was like, what? That's BlackRock again. That's crazy. Like, I don't understand. And at the same time, every time you turn on your TV, you have some maniac liberal hollering about Elon Musk, Elon Musk, Elon Musk, the billionaire of the world, Elon Musk, embedding himself into the government. He doesn't care about spending and wasteful and fraud. He's just trying to get his own contracts and his own tax incentives and his own payouts. This is all corporate greed. We got to get rid of Elon Musk. We can't have millionaires and billionaires. But never, ever, ever, ever once have you turned on the TV and heard of Mr. Finch. Larry Fink. I said Finch, I meant Fink. Amy's in my brain.
Yes, yeah. Oh my, we were talking about it yesterday, and y'all watched Elf, right?
Elf.
And Mr. Finch. And
Finch.
Yes, and he wrote the
Miles
book.
Finch.
Miles Finch. That's
The storyteller.
Call me Elf.
Call me
One more
Elf.
time.
One more time.
You're an angry little elf.
You're an angry little
Oh,
elf.
Mr. Finch. So cute.
His name is Larry Fink. You never, ever, ever, ever turn on the TV and hear one thing about Larry Fink. Never. Oh, by the way, Larry Fink is in control of $13.7 trillion in assets. His personal net worth is $1.2 billion. He supersedes Elon Musk, I don't know, by trillions of dollars. Is it time yet? We're 2 minutes away from our
2 minutes
code.
away from our code.
Before I dig too deep into...
Axel said he wonders how much money they made that deal. Johnson Daniel, what's up?
Before I dig... Why are we frozen right here?
Oh, you don't have to worry about this.
Before I dig too deep into Larry Fink, who we should all be worried about, we should all be talking about. Every time the liberal... I need y'all to do me a favor, because I know there's a lot of my people on here. There's probably a few crazies. Leon, I know you're watching. I can see your bubble up there. Every time you see him,
Leon, we thank you for your opinions
and your support.
And your support, because you help us see another side. So
a crazy side.
It may be crazy, but it does. It helps start a conversation.
Leon was the second best running back at where I come from in school.
Shut up.
Second best.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
All right, Leon.
I know the first one.
Was it you, baby?
No, it was actually Fred Hager. But anyways, I played tight end at the end. But anyways, I locked down the end. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, stop.
Crash you in, protect the
Family
sides.
show.
You messed me up, dog.
Got 1 minute.
We got 1 minute for the code. Hope you're listening. What up? What up, Johnson? Johnson Daniel, my man. Every time, I need y'all to do me a favor until we get him to shut up. Every time you see a post about Elon Musk, I want you to respond with Larry Fink. Just put that in the comments.
Miles, bitch.
Stop it. Every time they say Elon Musk, you respond Larry Fink. I guarantee you half of them won't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And then the other half will justify why it's okay that he's worth $13.4 trillion.
More than Musk.
A lot more than Musk. Let's go back to, code.
What's the code, baby?
For everybody new tuning in.
What was the code for the 5 free sausages?
Ivermectin.
Ivermectin.
If you say ivermectin, you got to come in my store tomorrow. The first 5 people we open at 11 that walk in my store and say ivermectin gets 5 pounds of free sausage. Now, if you can't walk in, the store and the phone turn on at 11 a.m. If you text me ivermectin,
I'll put the phone number
to 407-402-5686 between the hours of 11 and 6 p.m., 11 a.m., 6 p.m., the first 5 people that hit ivermectin to me get 5 pounds of free sausage. If you're local, walk in and grab it. If you're out of state, I will ship it to you. I just ask that you pay the shipping because I'm giving you 5 pounds of free sausage. I may even fill up the box, which will be 7 or 8 pounds if I'm shipping it to you.
Maybe we'll put in some steak. All right, what's for?
That was the 822 code.
That was the 822 code.
The 844 code?
Oh, Lord.
The 844 code?
For a free ribeye?
Fink.
Yes.
I want y'all to know the name Fink, F-I-N-K. 2 free ribeyes.
2?
2 free ribeyes.
$65, guys.
2 free ribeyes to the first 2 people that walk in and say Fink to my face. Or text me Fink.
Please, someone come in and say Fink to his face.
407-402-5686. If you're not local, if you're local, doors open at 11. You can you can win both codes. If you're a diehard loyal listener, text me Fink, text me ivermectin, and get sausage and steaks. If you're local, walk in and say ivermectin, say Fink, you'll get sausage and steaks. That's how I roll. So 7 people can win, or some people can win twice. I don't do minimums and maximums. I've spread my love. I come in, they call me stepdaddy. Hey, let's get back to BlackRock.
I come through and make the whole house happy.
I'm just going to give you a couple labels because you think you have choices. But for everybody tuning in at the beginning of the show, I said there is a difference between being free and having the freedom of a choice. And there's a difference between choosing and be given options to choose from. Put that on a t-shirt and wear it. BlackRock owns, the disclaimer is BlackRock technically does not own anything. It just enjoys benefits of interest diversity in its trust and funds of assets derived from companies it invests in. Put that on a t-shirt. Amazon. Uber. Oh, I thought you had a choice. No. Which one do you want to use? You want to use Uber or Amazon? Okay, right? They're both owned by the same company. Well, I like CNN. Well, I hate CNN. I like Fox. I hate Fox. They're both owned by BlackRock.
Are you serious?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Oh, wait a second. I'm going to use Comcast for my phone.
He's been hiding.
I'm going to use Comcast for my phone because I don't like Verizon. No problem. BlackRock owns both of them. Well, I'm going to use AT&T. It's fine. BlackRock owns them.
What do they not own? Do they own, what about social media?
They do. They own Comcast. They own Microsoft. They own Facebook. They own Meta.
But I thought
they own Netflix.
They own Meta and Facebook.
They own Meta. They own Netflix. They own PayPal. They own Excel. They own Lowe's. They own Home Depot. They own Walmart. They own Dow. They own Global Payments.
Digital reality. That's
digital reality.
That's a whole thing.
They own Merck.
Online.
All right, you ready? They own Bank of America.
They own airline.
They own They own Pfizer. They own Moderna. They own Johnson and Johnson.
Merit.
They own Honeywell. They own Boeing. 3M. That's one of them. 3M is one of them internet things, right?
Yeah.
They own NBC, CNN, Time Warner Cable.
Dude.
All right. That's BlackRock. Now.
That's crazy.
Larry Fink, US $1.2 billion. He is in charge of $13.4 trillion in assets. Don't go away, Axel. I got something else I want to tell you. BlackRock is owned.
I got the code piece, y'all.
Here's the cool thing. Now let's get to the bloodline that owns the whole world. We got about 11 minutes left.
All right.
Show brought to you by Organic Meats, Morris Family Farms. They're proud supporters of Between the Ribs. If they didn't support me, I'd quit cutting meat for them. I mean, let's be honest. You'd have to find another meat cutter. Also brought to you by Morris Mafia Gold.
Oh,
Guys,
silver.
Guys, we're over 3 pounds of silver.
I know we're saving money without even knowing we're saving money.
It comes every month. It's on auto deal.
It's a really good.
It's insane. It costs us like $140 a month.
And I'm not trying to sell nothing. This is a way for you and your family without knowing you're saving.
Yes.
To save something. And we have a whole thing.
I got to get back to this bloodline, but listen, I want to share Morris Mafia Gold with you. It's through 7K Metals.
Yeah.
If
really
you
good.
go there and just buy gold or silver and put it in your house, they don't pay me $1. They don't give me $1.
We don't get no money.
And I'm okay with that. So if all you can do is sign up on the basic package, it's like $149, and then Alyssa got it, our daughter, and she gets an ounce a month. She got the basic package. She gets 12 ounces a year, all right, delivered to her house, all right? If that's all you can afford to do, I don't need to make any money off 7K for Morris Mafia Gold. I'm glad to know that I can let you know about a place that doesn't require $10,000 for your first investment.
Yeah.
You literally can spend $149 and then sign up for $149 a month for the rest of your life or however long you want to do it. You can pause it, you can stop it, you can double down. Now, if you want to become a member, they give me a little bit. So if you have the money to become a member, we did the $549. It's a one-time payment for your life. You never pay again.
Lord of mercy.
And then we get access to our coins every month, shipped to our house. Plus, we can buy bullion, we can buy collectibles, we can buy blocks, anything we want to.
It's crazy.
As we can afford to do it. The cool thing about 7K Metals, MorrisMafiaGold.com, MorrisMafiaGold.com.
I'll put it in the comments.
You can go on that website and you can buy $33. You can buy one coin. Right now, I think silver's $36.12.
Yeah.
You can pay $36.12 and get 1 ounce of silver. You don't have to spend 10 grand or 2 grand or 1 grand or 500. You buy at your own pace and you're collecting something that will never depreciate. It's only going up in value.
Never gonna go
So
down.
if you can help the people that help us, they sponsor our Saturday radio show. They sponsor this YouTube. We love their family. It's a local guy. Now, their corporate office is in North Carolina somewhere, but the local people are here in town.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. All right. So BlackRock technically is not owned by Larry Fink, but he controls it. But BlackRock is owned by Vanguard Group, State Street Corp, Bank of America, and Temasca Holdings. Now, let me bring this circle jerk together. Temasca Holdings is a Singapore financiary company under the authorization of the People's Republic of China.
Oh, wow.
All right. Where did I have this up? Pfizer. That's why they don't want to talk about ivermectin.
Mm-hmm.
BlackRock owns 432.5 million shares of Pfizer. They are the largest stockholder in Pfizer.
That's
all right. Now, the bloodline that owns the whole world runs through BlackRock. Big Pharma, the 3 largest shareholders of Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, right, are Merck, Vanguard, State Street, and BlackRock.
Oh, wow.
It's a multi-trillion-dollar business with a T. A multi-trillion-dollar business. When they say Big Pharma and you hear Big Pharma on TV, it's not just a power-hungry people. It's a multi-trillion-dollar business owned and navigated by BlackRock, who is incorporated with Vanguard, State Street, Bank of America, and this Singapore fiduciary company.
That's crazy.
All right. Walmart. BlackRock is the largest institutional shareholder of Walmart. BlackRock owns 336 million shares of Walmart, valued at $30 million. BlackRock settled $8 million on child labor laws. BlackRock now owns the 4 major points of the entry to the Panama Canal. Now, back to Panama, so I can circle this around. One of the major players in BlackRock is a Chinese investment company. Do you think it's coincidence that when China was told, get out of Panama, they relinquished control to BlackRock? Relinquished control to BlackRock? The same BlackRock that they own a quarter of through their umbrella companies? And we wonder why we can't get ahead. We wonder why there's a $2 billion a year advertising budget for sports drinks, candy bars, and ADHA, or is it ADHD? ADHD medicine for preteen and teenage children. $2 billion a year, funded by BlackRock. So they own the TV stations. They own the news outlets. They own the pharmaceutical companies. They own the grocery stores, the retail stores. They own Coca-Cola, who also owns Simply Orange. They own Pepsi, who also owns Gatorade. They own the politicians because through their independent agencies, if you follow all the political money that is invested through all the different companies, and they all go back to BlackRock, every single one of them. I had some other like staggering fact I wanted to say here.
Just remember Miles Finch.
No, Larry Fink.
Larry Fink.
Well, I gotta play someone.
I'm so sorry.
Tell them about the codes again real quick while I look this up.
All right, so 5 pounds of sausage, you get ivermectin. Dear gosh, we all need some ivermectin. Oh, funny story. So Jonathan told you that he had to give it to us the other day because we were getting sick. And I mean, like, our bodies felt run down and we can't take a day off. Like, we don't get that. So Jonathan was like, I'm going to give us some ivermectin. So he's like, he gave it to me. You have to skip a day and you take it again. And he's like, hey, I left it for you on the cabinet in the syringe. And I'm thinking, you know, the syringe that you give a child, you know, you take out the antibiotic and then you put it in the syringe. When we get here, of course, I forgot to take it. We get home. John was like, you didn't take it. This ivermectin.
You gotta have a needle to get it out of the bottle. You unscrew the needle, put it in your drink.
I know, but I didn't. I was like, dang. I was like, I don't know what you want me to add.
No.
So it was.
They're gonna kick us off YouTube if you're telling people about that.
I'm just kidding. Ivermectin is the code for 5 pounds of free sausage. You have to either come into the shop tomorrow from 11 to 6. First 5 people to say it, or text the phone number 407-425-686. Ivermectin. You pay the shipping. We ship you 5 pounds of sausage. For 2 free ribeyes, the code word is Fink.
F-I-N-K, Fink.
Larry Fink.
The richest, listen, he's not Elon Musk.
Trillions.
The richest, most powerful man on the world is Larry Fink.
Yes.
$13.4 trillion in assets. He controls world markets and government legislation.
Musk has billions, Fink has trillions. Musk has billions, Fink has trillions.
Now, I got about 3.5 minutes left. I want to go over a few history points for you. Okay? We're not going to go back to the 80s when BlackRock was established and blah, 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 blah. But do you remember the Great Recession under Barack Obama when the banks were loaning all this money and people they wrongfully inflated the housing market back in like 2006, 5, 7, and then it crashed in 08. And everybody's like, from 07, 08, I lost everything. I lost my house. I had this short sale, and we were bailing out all these banks.
Right.
All right. BlackRock was an integral part of the cleanup of toxic assets in the wake of the Great Recession, when none other than the U.S. Treasury Department hired them to manage subprime securities held by American International Groups, Freddie Mac, Morgan Stanley, and the other guy.
Larry Fink?
No, what's the Fannie and Freddie? Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac?
Freddie Mac.
Yeah. All right. BlackRock was hired by our Treasury Department to clean up and finance those subsidies. All right. Let's fast forward to EFT in 2009 when it swung a $13.5 billion deal to buy Barclays unit that included iShare lines of funds. And then it got added to the S&P 500 to make it legitimate.
I don't even know what that means.
Here, you ready for this? The company was called on again during the height of the COVID-19 vaccine pandemic when the federal government employed them for response effort managing 2 corporate bond buying programs and the purchases that were backed by securities, Ginnie Mae, Fannie Mae, and Freddie Mac.
Hold on, well, that's I'm enjoying this, but just to make sure you folks understand what is being said, BlackRock owns stocks, bonds, futures, and probably at levels that they have representation on the board.
Yes.
Not wrong in how much they sway they have and everything, though. Right. Yes, we understand.
Yes. Oh, and we said at the beginning of the show.
Thank you for pointing that out.
And yes, and Walt, that is the pickle that we're trying to unstickle. BlackRock technically owns nothing, but technically they own everything. They are the largest group financially stockholders in almost every corporation in America and places over in China. They have their hand in everything from pharmaceutical to media to movies to entertainment to sports to energy drinks to supplements to meat packing plants to logistics. But when accountability has to happen, and this is why I say the bloodline that owns the whole world. How do we have this where when the day of accountability is upon us, BlackRock can step back and say, whoa, we don't own nothing. It wasn't us. But Larry Fink is noted as being the most influential financial advisor in the world. They said that he sets markets globally. This one guy, Larry Fink. All right. During COVID-19, they backed all the housing and the securities by Fannie Mae, Fannie Mac. They were responsible for Bitcoin. They just signed, you ready for this? BlackRock just signed an agreement this past week to help finance the rebuild of the infrastructure of Ukraine after Russia signs the peace treaty.
Of course they did.
So now grain, fertilizer, minerals coming out of Ukraine, BlackRock got their hands in on it. It doesn't stop. Now they will say, we're just an asset management company. That's all we are. We don't own and control anything of this. Oh, but just so you know, remember when Silicon Valley and all the banks went under?
Yeah.
BlackRock was the one that came in and bailed them all out. It was the first global asset manager to approve. Well, after they bailed out Silicon Valley, this thing that happened, I don't know, I can't remember the exact date. It was recent history.
Right.
So now BlackRock is the first global asset management company that has been approved to operate in China by the Chinese government.
Yep. Guys,
Americans are not allowed to work in China. I know a guy who makes shoes. And when he gets to, and this is a guy, he was a farmer. And he got out of farming to make shoes. And he was making shoes in China. And he would tell me that he had to take $100,000 with him and a security guy. And when he landed in China, when the door opened on the plane, there was a policeman that greeted him for security, $10,000. He got to a police car at a stop sign. There was another guy, $10,000. The guy who worked the door of the factory, $10,000. Everybody on the floor, $10,000. The mayor of the town, $10,000. He went through $100,000 at every point, paying off the people who allowed him to operate his business in China. And then there was a Chinese umbrella company that he worked under that he had to pay to get his shoes exported to America. And then after a season, he just got sick and tired of it. And he just couldn't believe the deplorable working conditions. So he moved his operations to Orlando, and now he makes sandals, and he sells about half the volume he used to sell at twice the price. But he said he sleeps good at night. This last thing, remember the ESG policies, the environmental, social, and governance? Y'all remember that? DEI and ESG, when every corporation in America started this. It was under the Biden administration. It was right after COVID. And they were like, hey, look, we don't care anymore about how much money you make or your stocks and your bonds or your losses and gains, profit and loss sheets. From now on, your business is rated solely on ESG.
What does that mean?
That's the environmental, social, and governance.
Oh, come on.
Policies. All right, environmental. So how clean are you? How socially diverse are you? Bringing your DEI programs. How much governance do you allow? Right?
Yeah.
That was backed and created by BlackRock. BlackRock started ESG. They funded it. They drew up all the financial forms for the federal government.
Now I can understand. I think you should have, if you're trying to help your environment. I agree with that. I agree you should have some tax write-off or, savings or kudos to you,
Right. Yeah, no, I get it. And it tells you down at the bottom of the story, and this is an independent story. The story on Google reads completely different than this independent from accessibility, the Motley Fuel company that I looked up. Two different versions of the BlackRock story. One of them is like Walt saying, hey guys, BlackRock's not a bad company. They invest in stocks and bonds. They're an asset risk management company. They're not owned by anybody and they don't have any control. They only make money off of investments and blah, 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 blah. And then the other one shows you, oh, by the way, there's 16 people on the board of directors at BlackRock. 5 of them sit on the board of the World Health Organization, the WHO. 5 people.
Who?
5 people from BlackRock sit on the WHO World Health Organization board. It's not a coincidence. So now, I don't know if I was able to tie all this together in an hour and 4 minutes, but you've got a company owned by 4 other companies. So you got BlackRock. They're owned by Vanguard, State Street, Bank of America, and this Singapore Tamsit company. Those 4 make BlackRock. BlackRock has a board of executives, a board of directors, 16 people. At the top of that board is Larry Fink. He's in control of $13.4 trillion. He is personally worth $1.2 billion. If you Google who is the wealthiest man in the world, listen, literally, Google it. Google will tell you, even though Elon Musk has a personal net worth higher than Larry Fink has more economical power, persuasion, and control. He maintains control of 13.4 trillion assets. He dictates world markets and government legislative writings on economic trade and foreign policy. But everybody right now is hollering and screaming Elon Musk because that's what the liberal left, they want you to focus on Elon Musk while the Warren Buffetts and the Larry Finks of the world are sliding in from behind us and taking complete control. They are blanketing the world. They're blanketing the world with their control. They're in real estate. They're in the meat packing. They're tied in with Amazon, Microsoft, and what's the other one? Bill Gates. And I don't know if you know this, but Bill Gates and his companies are trying to buy up every piece of agriculture farmland they can. So as BlackRock is taking control of the meat packing companies, Bill Gates through his companies are taking over vegetable farms. They are eventually going to merge together because they want to do away with old school American row crop farmers. They're trying to get it down to 3 or 4 major companies that they control through investments in stocks and bonds so they can push their agenda on us. They don't want free, God-loving Americans that know how to grow, farm, cut, pack, kill, steal, deal, mill, whatever you do.
Automobile.
I was thinking about milling corn or working in a mill, but automobile. They don't want that. They want 4 or 5 elite companies in control of the entire world. So I'm going to wrap it up like this. Ivermectin is the first code. Fink is the second code. You know what you win if you were listening. If you weren't, tune in next Wednesday, 8 o'clock.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank y'all very much. Mama, great show.
Yes.
We love y'all. Thank you for all the comments.
Yes, this was awesome.
Between the ribs, hit that subscribe button.
Yes.